Okay, for the first method, this is going to be green scroll missions. Now, green scroll missions are still pretty good, especially with the double EXP that you can get from them. So green scroll missions are kind of meant for beginners or people who don't have really any good bloodline. So I would recommend grinding them only if you don't really have that good of a bloodline, or until you reach about level 400, because after that point, you can do boss missions which give a lot more better EXP and a lot better rewards. So let's talk a little bit about the second method, which is going to be boss missions. Now, boss missions are probably the best way right now to level up in the entire game, and I'll show you a few tips on how to make it most efficient. So you're going to want to go to the Jaramaki area, or I'll just put it on the screen if I said it incorrectly, but you want to go to that area, farm the Toad bosses, because those are some of the best bosses to farm in the entire game. Not only will you be leveling up a ton, you'll also be leveling up your bloodline a ton. So it's a 2-in-1 situation, but you do need some decent bloodlines to make sure you get some good damage. So if you have Apollo Sand, which is a really good one, Mud has some good abilities, Shindai Ren Yang is pretty good, so just make sure you pick a good bloodline that has some good damaging moves. So definitely Apollo Sand is probably the best one to use because it has that ground move that does a good amount of damage. So definitely pick up Apollo Sand. It's like only 1 out of 50, so it's definitely worth picking up, and it's pretty easy to get, unlike, you know, Shindai Ren Yang, that's like a 1 out of 200 or something like that. So you're gonna also want to get one that has a mode so you can run away. So I would recommend also picking up Shadow. So Shadow is really good for its mode, and it has some really good, like Apollo Sand, some really good damaging attacks. So you're gonna want to grab those both while you are farming this boss. So that is going to be the two methods. Now let's talk about the next method. This is going to be dungeons. Now dungeons give quite a good amount of EXP, even though they're quite a little bit bugged right now, but they still give a good amount of EXP. They give around 1.5 million. Not the greatest, but it's kind of better than nothing. So if you grind this, you can still get a good amount of EXP, especially you'll be getting some rel coins, and you have a chance to unlock some game passes as well. So this is a kind of a 3-in-1 situation. So you get about 1.5 million EXP, which is pretty good. So some tips I'm gonna just say right now for some bloodlines you want to pick up for these boss missions and the green scroll missions. I recommend picking up Shindai Ren Yang. It's a phenomenal starter one. You only need level 50 to unlock it, so it's a really good starter bloodline to get to do these missions and stuff. So I definitely recommend picking up that one. Like I said, Apollo Sand, Shadow, let's see, those are the ones I'd really recommend, only because Shadow has a phenomenal mode, and it has some really good moves to kill those bosses really quickly. So also one thing you're going to want to do when you get to the Jaramaki stage is that you're going to want to filter through one boss to the next one. Luckily they're super close together, so you should be able just to go from one boss to the other and just loop around, and this should give you a good amount of Roy and a good amount of levels. So just keep killing those two bosses and you should be good. Anyways, that's going to be the entire video, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.